Welcome back to another video, y'all. Today we have the best all-around defenseman build updated as of March. I already did my best updated forward build. It's time for the best D-man build. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Now, of course, the meta defenseman build is going to be a puck-moving defenseman, and I am making this build for threes mostly. However, this build is definitely still very effective in sixes. It can definitely be used in threes or sixes, but for sixes, you may want to modify a couple of things. However, like I said, this is going to be for threes mostly. So we are going to make him 6'1", just to give him kind of the long stick.
What do you mean by that?
And give him that long reach on pass interceptions, poke checks, kind of anything like that, just to help out with that. But we're going to absolutely lower his weight so we are able to get his speed up a little bit. So we're going to make him 6'1", 160 pounds. Then we are, of course, going to shoot left-handed because that is my preference. However, it's completely up to you if you want to shoot lefty or righty. And then abilities and boosts we will come back to as always. First, for your technique attributes, all you want to do is add 5 to your speed, of course, because on this D-man in threes, especially for your defenseman, speed is a necessity because you are going to have to back check, and you always want to be able to back check because if you give up breakaways, it's going to be a bunch of goals for the other team, and you, of course, do not want that as a D-man. Then you're going to want to take 3 off your balance, 2 off agility, then 1 off both wrist shot and slap shot accuracy. Next, for your power attributes, you of course just want to add 5 to your acceleration, 1 to wrist shot power, because as a D-man, I feel like this may just be me personally, but I shoot way more wrist shots than I do slap shots, so I'm going to take 5 off my slap shot power, 5 off endurance, because I don't think endurance is super important as long as you're not literally clicking in your left stick the whole time and using that turbo and literally burning it out all the time. Then you just want to take 1 off your puck control as well. After that, for your playstyle attributes, you just want to add 3 to your passing, 1 to body checking, and 2 to defensive awareness. Then take 4 off both offensive awareness and stick checking, because stick checking, like I said, as long as you're smart with your poke checks and stick lifts, it's not that important of an attribute. We're also going to make up for that a little bit later in the build as well. For your tenacity attributes, we're just going to add 3 to hand-eye, 2 to strength, take 5 off your shot blocking, and 4 off durability, as shot blocking and durability, they're just not super important attributes for your player. And for your last attributes, your tactics attributes, we're just going to add 2 to deking, 2 to discipline. You can juice up your discipline if you want, or you could juice up your deking if you want. However, I like a good balance of both. Then we're just going to take 5 off our face-offs and 5 off our fighting, where maybe if you were playing sixes, you'd want to juice up your fighting a little bit more if you fight people in sixes. However, like I said, this is a threes build, so we're going to absolutely tank our fighting for this one. Now, going back to the zone abilities for the PMD, in reality, you can use any of these you want. Of course, it is personal preference. However, the best gold ability in the game, pretty much in my opinion, is elite edges. So if we can get that on a build, we're absolutely going to go with that for our gold ability. For our superstar abilities, like everything with these builds, it is personal preference. I try to make these builds also so that you can get most abilities that you would want to. At this point, since it's updated, this is kind of just more my personal preference. But if you want to see more like a balanced build that kind of allows you to get maybe more abilities, you can definitely check out my old PMD build from the beginning of the year. It's still a very good, very effective build. I just changed up a couple things for my personal preference, but that will be right here if y'all want to go check that out. However, for this one, for our first ability, I decided to go with Seeing Eye. I usually like to go Heat Seeker if y'all have seen any of my builds in 23 or 22. However, it is of course not a silver ability, and you can't get it as a gold ability on a PMD, so we have to just go with Seeing Eye instead, because I always like to have a shooting ability. But like I said, I don't really shoot slap shots like that, so there was no point in putting Thunderclap or Off the Rush. Then for our second one, like I said, we were going to make up for that poke checking and stick checking attribute a little bit. So we're going to go Shutdown, because then we don't have to use Truculence. This basically gives us Truculence and Stick 'em Up 2 in 1. So that's why we're going to go with those 2 abilities for our defenseman. And finally, for our boost, we are of course going to go with Power Skating and Steady Strides for our second one. +2 speed, +2 acceleration. It gives us 94 speed, 94 acceleration with super good defense, super good shooting. We have really good passing, really good just all-around stats, especially for a defenseman, especially for threes where you're super fast and you can get back on the back check. We're reversing 95 speed, 95 acceleration, and forwards, and you will have no issue keeping up with them with this build. But anyways, that is the D-Man build that I am currently rocking at this point in March of NHL 24. If you did enjoy the video and you are enjoying these builds and you want to see me recreate either any more player builds, or you want to see me create some best builds slash miscellaneous builds, let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Sub with notifications on so you don't miss any bangers in the future. I greatly appreciate you boys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.